Okay, first of all, my name is Doug Aird. I'm over in Denver, and we're going to talk about our Timer Pro package here today, give you an overview of the entire package. This is our website, acsco.com. More about that later on, but I'm going to come down here, and here is a flowchart of the package. So basically, everything that you see on the screen here is included. There are several main modules, though. We have the video time study area here. This is where you take videos of your operations. And from that, you can do your time studies, but also support your Lean, your Kaizen, your SMED. This is be your changeovers and that type of thing. We'll start here. We'll look at a process for improvement. I will mention in passing the time study reporting feature here, but typically what I do is a wee more detailed. I'm going to include a link to that particular section in the recording email I send to you. So you'll be able to click on that and see a short summary of this here. Because what we're going to do here, we'll look at a process for improvement, and we're going to bring it down here the first time into our line and cell balancing area. It's also the area we do process analysis. So the first time in, we're going to use it for process analysis. Then we'll go back up, we'll look at more of a repetitive type job, and we'll bring it in to show you the line and cell balancing here. And then we'll generate the standard work. We will create and maintain it. So as you make changes to your process, we'll update the standard work, i.e. the documentation, creating a complete revision history. The other thing that happens at this point, we will automatically digitize create a digital version of it here. This is something you can present to the operators on the floor, on a phone, a tablet, or a PC. You get that for no effort at all, just by generating the work instructions, you get that as well. Now, along the way, you'll see a number of different reports. We'll look at the ergonomic analysis. We'll look at the value-added analysis, Gantt and Pareto's, Yamazumi charts, that type of thing. We'll quickly cross most of those. Another feature of the line and cell balancing and the process analysis is also used for automation and robotics. So if you have any automation in place or you're looking to justify expenditures, this might help you put together the justification, also help you track the ROI on it down here as well. We sometimes don't get to that. If we don't, because there's a lot of material up here, you will get some more information on that in the video, in the email I sent to you. Okay, so we're going to start with this here. I'm going to bring up a smaller version of the flowchart here, so let me just get that, then we'll go back out of this. This is the one I was looking for before we come in here. 1 second, this is showing something else here. Yep, then go here. And here's a small version of the flowchart which we'll use throughout the package. We're going to start here in the video module, but first of all, I want to mention we do have an evaluation copy. It's a full package for 45 days. You can try it, and you can come along to a training session, so we'll talk about it later. If you do that, you're going to get 3 icons on the desktop. They're shown here on the right. The Timer Pro icon with Excel icon, that's Excel templates to get into smartphones and tablets, basically replacing the manual time stopwatch. Here's the video module where most of our clients work in these days, taking videos of the operations. And here's the balancing. These are the key features that we have right here. So I'm going to refer to this as we go along. We're going to start right here. So I open up the video module. And the first thing you're going to see, it does have the typical office kind of appearance where all of the options are presented to you in the ribbon here. So everything's up here. And the file option is a single blue drop down at the top left here. The first thing you do when you work with Timer Pro is compress your videos. You probably noticed the current videos are very large because they're all high definition. This will reduce the size by 80 to 90%. And to be honest, for a manufacturing operation, you're not going to even notice the difference. I always tell them, my people, it's not your daughter's wedding or recording here, right? So they'll be more than adequate here. Then you're going to select your video. Now, we will support all the common video formats coming off the devices. However, we would highly, highly recommend using an MP4 file. Why MP4? MP4 is one of the very few formats that will stream directly to the browser. And remember, what we're talking about doing here at the end of the day is potentially presenting that to your operators on the floor. So when they touched that to see an operation, it has to play right away. When you go to YouTube, that's an MP4 that's playing. These other formats here that you have here, they will have to download before you can play them. And that obviously is unacceptable. So really, we're aiming for the MP4. You'll get that off a GoPro camera, for instance. You select the video you want to see up here. The video is going to play in the window on the left-hand side. The controls themselves are at the top left. They're pretty obvious. Hit the start button. The video starts to play. The clock starts to run. Hit the stop button. We've recorded a time. Describe what you saw here. So in this case, it's tool aside. Right, and then tell us whether it's value added, non-value added, or required non-value added. We are very much focused on the non-value added and required non-value added. That's where you've got opportunities for improvement. If you can reduce or eliminate those, you're going to become more efficient. So why not have this highlight that to you here? So in this case, I might say it's required non-value added. I click on the save. I've just recorded an observation here. And what we see most of our clients doing is setting up the camera at a work area and walking away. And so that's why a GoPro is very good. You can buy a small tripod, they're like 6 inches high. You can put them just about anywhere and they can record the activities for you. Above the video, you'll see we have what we call a course video adjustment. This just allows you to slide through the entire video. With the MP4 file, you will not miss a single movement here. Everything's going to be in the video here. I'm going to bring up another example here to get into some more details. This is a little more complicated than most of your operations probably. Here we've actually got 4 operators working as a team. There's one guy at the back, 2, 3, 4. And what they're going to do is collapse this wire cage type structure you see here. It's only 40 seconds. I'm going to play it and describe what you're seeing here. I hit the start button. So what they're doing is they're walking to the respective corners of the cage. Now, one of the guys, this guy here, he went to the right instead of the left. As a result, the other people are waiting. So he's causing a delay in this process. When he gets to the corner, they're going to collapse the cage down and push it in. That's the end of their work content. And then a stockman arrives. Now, the advantage of the video, of course, is you've got a record of what is happening in your facility. You'll see things in the video you want to talk to the operators about. Look at the way this fellow's reaching over here. He could hurt himself doing this. Maybe he needs some help. He might damage the cage, dropping it down like that. And then he's going to walk away. And he walks away backwards as well. So a number of things here you might want to look at. I'm going to restart the video. I want you to look at the panel above here where I'm pointing right now. This is where the timing is taking place. You hit the start button, you can see the clock running here. You can pause the video. You can continue or add to it here. If something's happening very quickly, you can play it in slow motion. Slow it way down and see the details of what's happening. If you got a longer activity, you might speed it up here. We're going twice as fast as normal. Now, we'll talk about training later on. We're going to use normal speed here, and we will train you at normal speed. But I will tell you that most of our clients are using the package at 1.5 times normal, 50% faster than normal, and they're getting more accurate times than ever. So I'm going to leave that at 1.5 times normal. So you move it up as you get more comfortable with the package. But there's some things in here that will really make it easy for you. I'm going to leave it there at 1.5. Then you identify what we call the subjects. Now, in my example here, I have 4 operators and a stockman. We call it a subject because it doesn't have to be an individual. It could be a piece of equipment. Perhaps you get a machine shop where one operator is running 2 machines. You give the operator machine 1, machine 2, right? I'm going to edit my subjects here. I'm going to add myself as a subject. So I'm going to add, I'm Doug, and I'm going to assign a color to me. I'm going to be the orange color here. And I say I'm done. If you were timing me, you would pick the subject you want to time. Let's say Doug. You find the location in the video where I was working. Let's assume this was me right here. And you want to time me walking around and putting your hand in the unit here, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the start button. The start button will change the stop, so I do not have to move. I watch the video. The elapsed time is going to go to 0, and the video is going to play. The video is going to play 1.5 times normal, so I'm going to walk around here pretty smartly. But before I hit the start button, I want to explain the most important thing you need to know about the video module here. In the video module, be aware of this little option over here. This is called our fine video adjustment here. You can see if I hover over it, he'll pop up a name here, right? Here you get values from 1 all the way up to 90. These are seconds. Now, the default with the package is 5. So this is good for short cycles. Anything under, let's say, 5 minutes, I'd probably leave it at 5. Over 5 minutes, I might change it to 10 or 20. You'll see how this works in a minute here. Remember, that's going to be the feature that will remove all the pressure of getting accurate times as you're putting together your time studies here. So I'm going to hit the start button here. This will go to 0. Walk smartly around here. And what I'm going to do, you'll see me put my hand on a unit. That is when I should stop the video, right? But I'm actually let it run for a few seconds more and pull the cage towards me so I get an inaccurate time here and show you how we handle it, because this is a trick in using the video module here. Hit the start button, walk around smartly, hand on the unit right there. I should have stopped it right there, but I stop it here. Obviously, my time is incorrect because I didn't quite get what I was after. Above the video, you have a coarse video adjustment. The one you're going to use all the time now is down below. It's the fine video adjustment. Look at the values there, 30.674 to 40.674. Where did that come from? Look at the stop time, 35.674. What it is the stop time plus or minus the increment you set from here. So when you don't quite get the breakpoint you wanted, in this case I went past it, all you do is you grab the slider down here and bring it back, right, and get exactly the point you're looking for when the hand went on the unit. And then you say, this is my sample for Doug. So you will never miss another breakpoint now. You'll get more accurate breakpoints by using this feature here. And then you click on the save. We just recorded an observation performed by me. This is how long it took. This is the starting point, and this is the ending point. Now, these are decimalized seconds to 3 decimal places. How come? Well, sometimes some of the videos you can take could be 60 frames a second. And what we have here is a starting frame to an ending frame. And you'll see how we make good use of this as we go through the package here. But you can see I've already studied operator 1 to 4. The stock one now myself. You can go back to any observation you made, click on it. This is operator 3. If you double click on the description, it's going to play it back for you. Double click on it. Operator 3 is this guy here. He's the one that went to the right instead of the left, and he's the one that's holding everyone up. So operators 1, 2, and 4 are waiting on operator 3. Remember that. You're going to see that we look for a process improvement in a couple of minutes here. But right now I want to point out a couple of things. First of all, I'm going to come up here to the top left of the data. You'll see the word subjects highlighting here. This is an important field here. This is what we call our focus field. Right now we are focused on the subjects. So if I were to go to my summary ribbon here, I will get a summary by subject. Operator 1 to 4, the stockman and myself. I'm also down here in the orange color I assigned. This is my work content relative to the other subjects. And remember, the other subject could be a piece of equipment. It doesn't have to be an individual. Right? Now you can change the focus easily by going back to data collection, and there's a drop down just to the right of the word subjects. And here you see all the things you can do here. Time study, Lean, Kaizen, 5S Med, your CI tools, internal and external ergonomics, and so on here. I am going to switch to a time study right now. And then I go back to my summary. And now I get a typical time study summary. Total time, minimum, max, number of observations, the average time, the frequency, and the standard time. Now where we are right now, we are in the video time study here. Notice there's a link dropping from here down to my time study reporting. To get to that, you would select reporting and tell it to go. The data would be transferred from the video module down into the reporting here. Now, look at the Excel icon. You'll see a lot of Excel icons in Timer Pro. All output from Timer Pro goes to Excel. So you're comfortable in Excel, you're going to be comfortable here relatively quickly. But I'm not going to show you this here today because I want to move on to other items. This is a video I will provide with when I send you the recording of this one. You'll be able to play a 5-minute video and watch the details down here. But it will give you detailed time study summaries in here. What I want to do, though, I want to look for process improvements. I'm going to go back to data collection. And the option I take is the far right of the ribbon here called time preview. And what that will do, that will send the data not down into reporting, but down into the process analysis area and line and cell balancing. In this case, we're going to use it for the process analysis. We're looking for improvement opportunities. So what we do here, we're going to hit this in a moment here, but notice operator 1 to 4, the stockman and myself. I click on the time preview. I'm going to open here. I want to make sure it's closed. I click on the time preview, give it a couple of seconds, and the data is going to be presented to you in the balancing area. Here's operator 1 to 4, the stockman out the far right. There I am. Right. So what that did was it passed it down from here into here. Now we're going to use the process analysis to look for improvement. So what do we have here? Look at myself out the far right here. The filler is when I was not in the video. I actually appeared 26 seconds into the video and did some work. You can see the work content by clicking on the video icon. It will play it back for you. Now what it's doing here, it is using the starting and the stop time to play it back for you. Now, the problem here is actually operator 3. He's the guy that went to the right. He took so long to walk that 1, 2, and 4 had to wait. The filler here is wait time. And you can see that again by clicking on the video icon here. This is operator 3. But right now you're paying for this guy, and the one we can't see at the bottom left is stand there and watch him walking. It's a classic definition of non-value added. They're just standing there doing nothing. Right. In fact, what the colors represent here, the orange represents non-value added, and in this example, the green is value added. You can change them, as you'll see later here. Now, maybe you want to share this with the supervisor or the manager in that area. You can go to the summary here. Here we have our export options. Notice all the Excel icons again. These will go directly to Excel. I'm going to use a Gantt chart here. Pop out to Excel. It'll give me a preview, then I export to Excel from here. And it'll come up very quickly. Now, we will work in Excel 2010, 13, 16, 19, 21, and Office 365. You can see here, it come out very quick. We're using what we call the Excel object model to manipulate it by program. You can see operator 3 is holding everything up. Operators 1, 2, and 4 are waiting. So putting on your lean hat, this is the current state. How are we going to improve it? So we can exit out of here now. I'm in the balancing now. I'm in the summary area, and you'll notice I have a dollar sign here. Now I'm going to click on that. That's my savings. I click on it. But even though it's a dollar sign, we're Timer Pro, we deal in time. The actual work content is just over 2.5 minutes. The cycle time is about 45 seconds. But time is money after all, right? So it's the same thing. So notice over here on the left, I'm working in seconds. Now that may or may not be appropriate for the jobs you're looking at. If it's not, you go to File, you go to Options, you go to General Options. You can tell it whether you want to work in seconds, minutes, or even hours. Pick the appropriate time unit for the job that you're looking at here, and the system will work exactly the same way. Just pick the different time units. I'm going to leave it at seconds right now. So what can you do here? Well, you can move work content around. You can take it and just drag and drop it. Now that wouldn't work ideally in your work cell or your assembly line. You can do that very easily here. But in this case, these 4 operators are working as a team. I can't just move one and take it away here. We're going to have to change this value. So we might say to this operator, do not go to the right, go to the left. And maybe if you went to the left, you get there roughly the same time as these 2 operators here. So how do you do this there? So you point at it as if you're going to click on it. And before you click, hold the Shift key down and then click. You will get a slider. And what we're going to do here is look for a potential savings. So what we're going to do, this slider can go up and the slider can go down. I'm going to grab it here and say, if you went to the left, you get there roughly the same time as these fellas. And that's going to give me about 5% saving here. Savings will be shown in green. Costs will be shown in red. Now, the big saving comes if we do this. We've eliminated the delay for these 2 operators. So I can click on that activity, hit the delete key, confirm it. I've now got almost a 10% saving. Same here. Click on the wait time, delete it, confirm it, get 15%. Now, over here, the operator did not walk as far. So I cannot eliminate all of his wait time here. So I'm going to slide it down, line it up with other guys. There's still going to be a little bit of wait time there, but a lot less than there was. And now if the operators finish earlier, the stockman can come in earlier. So what you're doing here, you're playing what if was your process, right? What if we did this? This is what would happen here. And maybe I can come in earlier too. So the net effect here is going to be a reduction of about 1/3 in your work content and about 18% in your cycle time. You take that any day of the week. Now, what you're seeing here is an effect we call ghosting. We're ghosting the effect and making those changes for you. And you can see it's actually showing you how much is involved here. Now I'm going to click on this and it's going to instantly put it back the way it was, but it's actually done something else here that I want to draw your attention to. I click on this and it looks like you just lost it all, but you've not. You go back to the home ribbon here. And I'm going to draw your attention to this area here called savings and filter. When you do something like that and you're looking at what ifs, you can come in here and say filter, highlight the savings. Those are the activities we touched to improve the process, right? And then we can come in here and say, show the savings. And there's the ghosting that you created, right? So it's actually showing you how much you're going to take out of the process if you do that here. So before I go and show you the main point of this area here, I'm going to come in. What you do is you go back in here and you see there's a note there. User modified value in the savings mode. So I fixed that. I changed that value by dragging and dropping it. But I need to tell you what to do. Maybe I'm making a presentation to your boss and I have to present it to them. So I might come in here and say, I'm going to edit the activity. I'm going to change this. I'm going to say, tell operator to go to left, uh, to left, not right. It's as simple as that. Like that justified everything we did there. And we put that note in there now. So you can see if I hover over it, it's right there. And then what we do is we come up here and we're going to run the savings report here and export to Excel. This can generate a report. Again, all the reports go to Excel, but I'm going to take you out to the website while that's running here and just show you what we're talking about here. This is an area we make a bit of a deal about up here. It's a time study here. Savings from video analysis. Let's go in there. It's going to bring another page up here. And it's thinking, come on. Right, make it a little bit bigger so you can see it better. 1 second. And slide it down a little bit. So what you're going to get is a report here that shows you the total number of stations involved were 7. 5 were touched here. The current time is 308. Proposed time is 241. That's a 22% reduction here. Of the selected elements, 105. That's the total time. This is how much you're removing. This is the net time. Much is left. This is 65% almost, and this is where it's coming from. But more importantly, if you scroll down, you're going to get a presentation in Excel that you can present to your manager and show them the changes you're proposing here. And this will be documented each saving here. Now, if I go back and show you the report that was developed, first of all, over here, you can see if I go to my process summary, here's the current state. Here's the future state showing you the ghosting. Now we go back to the savings template. So 6 of the 6 tasks were impacted here. This is the current time, this is the proposed time, 33% reduction. This is the total time. This is how much we're taking out. This is what we're left with, 63%. And it shows you most of it came, as you'd hope for, from the non-value-added work content. And then we scroll down here. Here are each of the individual items that we touched. And look here. Tell the operator to go left, not right. That's the note I added here. And you can come in and show your manager what happened by clicking on it here. This will play it back. And you can show him the guy going the wrong way around here. Now, this is very important. You're playing this back directly from inside Excel. This is completely independent of Timer Pro. You will be able to share your work content that you develop in Timer Pro with your operators, your managers, your supervisors, and so forth via Excel. And the way we do that is all output in Timer Pro goes to Excel. So you take the Excel output that you see here, along with the video or videos that go with that output. You can see it's a pretty detailed report here you've got here running over here, right? So you've got all this information getting popped out. You take the Excel output along with the video or videos that go with it, put it onto, let's say, a shared network drive, put the Excel sheet in a folder, put the videos in the same folder. That's the trick. Put the videos in the same folder. So you want to, and that'll allow the people to play it back directly from that particular folder. As long as they have Excel, they can come in here and see it. This is consistent throughout the entire package. Just about every report will do that there. Now we come over here and let's go look at some other things here. So if we're back in here, we cancel this. Remember this fellow here that was struggling with the cage. So obviously this is not a desirable situation. He could hurt himself here. And he might also damage the cage, dropping it down. So what can we do here? That's an ergonomics issue. What you do is you go to the home ribbon, and here we have our different view modes here. Now the default view is always value-added, non-value-added. But here you've got your lean, your Kaizen, your SMED, your 5S, and here are the ergonomics. I click on the ergonomics view, and it will change the color of the bar here. And now you can double click on the item you want to look at, and it will bring up a body map screen. And then we can click on the time here. It will play the video back and pause it when you see the issue. So if I was doing this, this would not be good for my back. I click on the lower back, no stress, light, moderate, severe. I'm going to say pretty severe in the back. He's reaching with his right arm. I'll give him moderate stress on the arm and hand. And then because you get the video, you can see he's standing on one foot. You'd probably miss that if you're standing there with your stopwatch and your piece of paper, but we can pick that up here. That'd be a high stress point, which will run right up the leg here. Now the trick is the large panel to the right and a small panel to the left. Totally user definable by you. What you're looking at here is an Excel template that can be changed by you or your safety people. So what type of stress? These are the defaults that come with the package. You could say lifting, force, posture, twisting and turning, but not repetition, eye strain, etc. What percent of the video clip is under stress? Maybe they say 50, then decide to make it 60. Then we saw them grouping together body members, left and right shoulder, upper and lower back. So they might say it's a 20 to 60 degree flexation. And what it is standing bend. Remember, these are the defaults that come with the package. We're relocating the load. We're not lifting the load. We can scroll down and we can find, let's see here, push, we're pulling a load, right? So ask them a question. How heavy is it? Well, it's 30 kilograms. It's a short pull. Body posture is bad. Conditions of execution are difficult. We've also got social distancing and PPE. Not so much anymore, but this was very useful, obviously, the last few years there. We just added it to the Excel sheet and we had it covered. They put a note in here. The operator needs help and could damage product. Right, and then we just click on print. Where does it go? Only place it can go is out to Excel. Take the Excel output you see here, put it in the network drive, put it into a folder, and then play back the video directly from here by clicking on the play videos here. Okay, so let's come over here. It's taking a little bit of time there on that. I notice it's giving me this not responding. It's thinking here because I just loaded a new version of it here. But anyway, let's come back over here and let's look at a couple of things happening over here. Come in here. When I save this now, what happens here is I have to wait for that report to finish. So I go back to the Excel, the summary area here. And let's look at a couple of things happening here. I'm going to bring up another study here. What we have here, this is a classic repetitive operation. You can see buff sides, buff bottom aside, and get next. Right? Buff sides, buff bottom aside, and get next. Let's recap what we've learned so far. We're going to play back the video. You're always looking for a breakpoint where one activity ends, another begins. That's a breakpoint. We hit it again. He's going to work for a few seconds. He's working, working, working. Pulls away, I missed it, I stop it. If you don't get the right time, grab the fine video adjustment. Just slide it back and bring it back into the picture. And that's going to be my sample for my demo today. And then I just click on the save. I've just recorded that, added it to my study here. Now let me go back and see this report should have finished now. Indeed it has. And you can play back the video directly from here. And you can pause it when you see the issue. So you can give this to the supervisor. They can look at this. You can see how how you've analyzed it and the recommendation you've made here. Now, I wanted to come back over here specifically for one reason, and that was to show you something else that's going on in here. When I click on the save here in the ergonomics mode, what it does, it color codes the step in the process according to severity. So if I click here, you will see the highest severity I used. The highest severity I used here was the highest severity I used here was the highest severity I used was the red here. So the result of that is it's going to show up as being red here. I want to show you a complete process so you can see what it looked like if you look at the entire process in here. You come in here. This is an example. I'm going to do this one for ergonomics. Now you can see an entire process looked at from an ergonomics point of view, where the red is dangerous, moderate, slight, and none. And as you'd expected, different operations carry different weightings here. And one of the things we did during the pandemic, we developed a special report to help everyone out here. It's called the Health Risk Assessment. I'd like to show you that just so it's available, because this is really useful if you're using this for the ergonomics in your operation here. We'll look at it in two different ways. One is a summary by station. And you can see this is a manufacturing or process sequence from start to end. And what's happening is, as you make your selections of the green, the yellow, and the red, it's assigning indexes to different ones, and it's adding up the values to come up with a total risk factor. And then here's the station by severity. So here we've sorted it from the most dangerous activity to the least. And even over here, you can play back your actual individual videos. And you can see the issue here if I pause it. This guy's having to bend down. It's going to be bad in his back and his shoulder in no time, putting parts in and out of this machine. So it's a really bad situation that we're highlighting here. But you can see every body member is mentioned here, the different colors. And there's an image of the actual process itself right there that we got from. That's the same that we saw over here. So that's a very useful report if you get any ergonomic issues in your operations. Let's come back over here though. And now let's talk about longer events. Let's say you're unloading a truck. Unloading a truck might take 20 minutes, let's say. Obviously, we can speed up the video 2.5 times. That would mean you would still have to watch 8 minutes worth of video. That is not good use of your engineering time. That is not good use of many of our clients' engineering time. And we solve that problem. When you get anything, to be honest, I would recommend you use this trick. Anything over 2 or 3 minutes, this is going to save you time and substantial time at that here. What I'm going to do, imagine I put my units to minutes and not seconds here. These are seconds, but it's exactly the same. It'll work the same way. I'm going to hit the start button just like before. It will go to stop. This will go to 0 and the video starts to play. However, when this goes to stop, the button to the left will become pause. I'm going to use the start, the pause, and both sliders to show you how you'll be able to record 20 minutes worth of activity in literally 15 or 20 seconds. And we're going to basically slide around the video to do that here. I hit the start button to start the video playing. Instead of watching it, pause it. Watch it by grabbing the course video adjustment here. Remember, you'll see everything as you move out through this here, move out to roughly the 20-minute range, and then use the fine video adjustment to find exactly the point you're looking for, and that might be it right there. So you would have recorded over 20 minutes worth of activity in literally 15 or 20 seconds. So you can imagine how significant this is if you get longer activities there. But even over 2 or 3 minutes, you can do the same thing. You can slide it around and still come out ahead. By this, if you know where the operator's going and you know what's going to happen, you can do that very easily here. Notice my observations are added to my time study. They're also added down here to my available activities. Why? Because we do not want you to have to type anything more than once. But you might tell me, well, we've studied that job 4 or 5 times. You might have another source, it might be PowerPoint, Word, something else out there. You could use it. I'm going to come out here and you can go to that other source. I'm going to bring up a summary time study here. This is an example of one of our time studies. And notice here we do have the videos linked into it. It's the same guy we saw working there. And you can just copy these from any other source and bring them right back in here and have the import from clipboard. There's the data coming in. So you may not have to type anything at all if you've already got it documented there. Now, I assume that some of you, or maybe all of you, are running multiple shifts. You will be interested in the comparison. If not multiple shifts, perhaps you get similar operations in different parts of the plant. So there's a comparison option here. But before I do that, I'm going to go to the toolbox here, introduce this to you. Here we have a tool, Timer Pro Utilities, and this allows you to merge together video time studies. So let's say in the morning shift, you get an experienced operator. He or she has seniority. They're working the morning shift, and you hire might go into your second or third shift. You can take a video of them both. You can bring them together in the toolbox. Then you go to the comparison and sort by activity and time. And come down here and say, okay, here's my experienced operator taking 4 seconds. Down here, 4 seconds to do the above bottom. Play that in the left here. A little bit further down, you get your new operator taking almost 7 seconds to do the same thing. Play that in the right. Line up your videos for training purposes. Then you can rewind them both. Then you can play them both side by side. And you can maybe point out what the experienced operator is doing, the new operator could benefit from here. If you don't want to wait around for the second shift or the third shift, always look for the Excel icon. Remember, Excel is the way out of the package. You click on that, give it a second or two, that data is out in Excel and the video is playing. You can see in the background what we're doing. We've got the left side and the right side. And what we do is we tell our clients to put their notes right in here. Improve by. So document whatever you're seeing, what you're suggesting, and so forth right in here. Then save the Excel sheet just like before, and the video or videos that go with that. Put the Excel sheet in a folder on, let's say, your network drive. Put the videos in the same folder. Anyone who has that particular has Excel can come in there and play back the video content and then read your notes to see what you're talking about there. So a very good way of communicating again with the people on the floor. Other things you might be involved in is obviously like Lean, Kaizen, 5S types events. We give you typical groupings for each of these. You see them here. Maybe you want to create a new one that could be company specific. So something very specific to your company you want to capture here. Something unique to it here. Right? And then when you save it, maybe assign a color to that. I'm going to make that a purple color and say I'm done. Now what you can do with your team together, you can start playing back the video content by double clicking on it. So you might say, well, that's extra transportation. You can run down through the process, just identifying what you're seeing as you go down through it here. Right? Maybe the people are giving you some ideas. You can click on the notes column here, bring up a notepad, make a note of what they're suggesting here. Then we come back in here and we go back to the next one. And now we're going to get into the company specific range here. Now what will happen here when you go to the summary, this time it's going to summarize it in my example by Kaizen event. And that might a Kaizen cause. And this will prioritize where you should be spending your time on the company specific and the extra transportation. Those are the two that are hurting you the most. So focus on those ones. You can also see them over here in the background as well here. Other things you can do is you can do internal, external, ergonomics directly from here as well. But the main thing I want you to remember when you're working in the video module is to tell us, as I said at the beginning, value added, non-value added required. When you start up, you'll probably be using this drop down here. Once you realize what's happening, your selections have been shown here in the value added column. You can actually click on this particular cell. It will bring a single little pop-up here that lets you globally change the characteristics of the study, whether it be the value added, the delays, the performance rating, interruptions or fumbles. Everything you can do with a piece of paper and a stopwatch, you can do right here in the video module. This is your classic repetitive operation. Both sides, bottom of side, sides, bottom of side. What happens when you go to the summary? It will give you the summary, the total time, min, max, average, and so forth here. But look down here. This is your opportunity. This is value added, non-value required. This is opportunity for you here. And what we're going to do here, we're going to use the line balancing here, cell balancing here. It may not be checked. You check it here. And the nice thing feature here is use the last file. The program always remembers the last process you were working on. So if you ask me to go out and study one of your jobs, I'd probably start at the first step in the process and go from the first to the last, whether it's a cell or just a process. That's what I would do, right? And this remembers the last one you're working on. So this content, including the sample for demo, is now going to be added to this process, the last one I worked on, in the line balancing mode. And I click on the go. Give it a couple of seconds. And it will bring up the process I'm working on. You can see I've currently got 7 stations here. And here's my data coming in. Here's my sample for demo. I can drag and drop it. The height of the chip represents the time. So the larger the activity chip, the longer that activity is taken here. If this was a new task, you can say add a task. It makes space out here. Add them all. It slips it right in here. Now, what are the different colors? Well, you probably guessed that. You go to File, Options. This is the same area we went to for the unit of measure down here. Here are our default colors. It's whether it's value added, non-value added, or required non-value added. Maybe you want to make your non-value added red to really emphasize it's something you want to get rid of. They'll all change the red. Now you can start moving activities around. This is not, the program's not going to do this. This is where you have to use your knowledge. You can drag it around and decide what you can and cannot do. That's your responsibility. Or you could take work content and drag it from one activity in the process or one task in the process to another one. Now, let's say you get a certain demand going through that cell that day. Here's your takt time up here. You see the target? We click on this. You get a fixed takt time, you can type it in. If you want to use a calculator, we do give you the takt time calculation, including demand, yield, and efficiency. So in my example here, I have an 8-hour shift. 480 minutes, half hour for lunch, 2 10-minute breaks leaves 430. This is the demand, this is the takt time, if the efficiency and yield are 100%. It will draw the takt time across your chart here. What this is showing you, couple of potential bottlenecks. If you don't do something here, you're going to have bottlenecks. You're not going to be able to make your schedule. So you have to use your knowledge again to decide what you can do, can and cannot do. So I might say that can be done easily, but I can't really move this here, but I could move this arranging to this other fellow here. So now you've got it good. Everything's under the tack time. You're in good shape. We have a second line up here you can grab here. This is the efficiency. So you can look at this and say, I can be 89% efficient today, and I'm still going to make that particular schedule here. Click on the tack time here. Other things you can do here is you can pop out the Yamazumi chart for the entire process. Very, very quick because we're using the object model here. Pops it right out and it's attached all of the videos. You can play back the video content to each of the steps in the process just by clicking on it and playing it right back from here. Right? So very easy to do that here. And you can see all of the different reports that we have available are listed here. PFMEA, value stream mapping, and so forth are in here. But right now, what I want to focus on is the work instructions. Let's go back to the flowchart here. We're in here right now. And now we're going to generate some standard work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the work instructions step up here. But I want to introduce you to the fact that when you do that, you're going to get a couple of things. You're going to get a revision history, but you're also going to get a digital copy. If you've used a certain kind of video, which I'll talk about in a minute here. So what we do here is I'm going to point out, I'm going to go to the work instructions in a moment here, but here's my digital standard work. And there's a setting in here that I want to just point out to you. The default is always say automatically create a video for every element. Now that's fine if you've only got a couple of minutes of activity. You might only have like 10 or 12 elements. If you've got 40 minutes worth of activity, you might have 100 activities happening during that 40 minutes. In that case, you select this one here. Longer cycles, allow the program to group them together. The program won't group it, but you can group them together. So let's say 140 activities making up 40 minutes worth of activities might come down to maybe 9 or 10 major blocks of activities. You define the blocks, we'll create new video content for you right there. So this is something you just know about. I'm going to leave it on this one right now because I've got a short one for our purposes. And now I go to my work instructions. Give it a couple of seconds. Now, if you take the evaluation copy, you'll have 3 reports. 1, 2, 3. This is the report. This is a client I'm working with right now. I can't show you client data. Never do that here. But here's the work instructions summary. I'm going to use this report, which is one of the standard ones we give you. And notice this checkbox here. Digitize work instructions is checked. Why is it checked? It's checked because I'm using only MP4 files. Right? If even one file I use was not an MP4 file, that would not be checked and I would not be able to check it. So this is passing the test because we want to make this so that we can play it back instantly on a device to your people here. And I'm going to go browse here. And I'm going to come in here. I'm just going to call it, let's just say demo. I usually put today's date in it. You can see here. So today is 05, what is it? 21, 24, right? And just so we can click on this. And then we click on the OK. So it's going to create. Now what's going to happen here, we're going to create an Excel workbook. In this example, it will have 8 worksheets, 1 worksheet for each step in the process. If your process had 18 steps, you would have 18 worksheets, plus a summary sheet for navigation. I click on OK. It opens it up. The navigation sheet and the summary is really useful. Some of our automotive clients might have 70 stations in a line. It makes it easy for them to move around doing that. So what you can see is it starts to put this together here. And it's still giving me this issue here, not responding here, which is kind of annoying here. So let's just go and look at what's happening here. I'm not sure why that's doing that right now, but I'm going to come in here. I'm going to go show the desktop here. We're going to go and look at what it's doing from digitized process here. I'm going to sign in here. So part of the digitization is going to happen when you're generating that report. Let me just bring it up here. I normally have this set up for later, but we'll bring it right now. And this is what it looks like here. So you're actually going to get the information being presented in a Chrome browser here. I can click on this. Here's the details of the process here. And here are the individual steps. And you're going to see this one in a moment here. This is the attached tray. And notice here I've got content. I've got 1, 2, 3 orange and 1, 2, 3 green. That's what I have here. Let me go back over here. It should have finished by now here. It's over here. Yeah, it's finished there. Okay. It's actually, he's finishing it now. It's digitizing it at the moment here. And the blue splashes are basically extracting the video clips. So what we're doing here, you start out with very large videos. You only use a certain part of it. We're extracting those video clips to present them to you on the web here. Look up at the top, by the way. Look at you saw me typing in demo and then today's date. I did not type in -TP_001. The program did that, right? This is Timer Pro's got it, and we're currently on revision number 1. Right? It's doing that right there. Now it's going to come back here. I can click on, this is the summary sheet. I can navigate around. Here's my insert components. Here's my sample for demo. I can play back the video content here. I'm going to grab a snapshot from the playing video. Every place you saw the video play, you can grab a snapshot here. And I'm going to add maybe an arrow in here. I'm going to shape to show you this. And you'll see here, I'll come back over to what I showed you in a moment here. A moment ago there, I'm going to point right at the guy's hand right here. And I'm going to make this yellow. So what you got is a picture with a yellow pointer at it. And you're going to see that again in a moment here. And then if I come back over here and I go to my summary, I go to my attached tray, there is 1, 2, 3 orange, 1, 2, 3 green. And I can click now. Obviously, this is in Excel. You can see it's Excel. But if I take this and I minimize this, up here in the Timer Pro, we have a web emulation. And here you can see the summary here. I can go to my insert components. I can display it. There's my sample for demo. This is an image, right? And we know the top left-hand pixel of activity 1, the bottom right-hand pixel of activity 1, top left of 2, bottom right of 2, top left of 3, bottom right. There's an imaginary grid here. You can click on it anywhere. It will find that video and it will play it back for you. Right? So here we're in emulation mode. We're not on the web, and we're showing you this. And if I come back over here and I go to my attached tray, here's the 3 orange and 3 green that I talked about earlier. You can see it's taking a snapshot of this, 3 orange and 3 green. It's now presenting it to you, and it's digitized it. So if you want to see attached funnel, you click on that, and it comes up and shows you that playing back here. Now we're in emulation mode here. Now over here we're in the real item coming down, and you can see what I've done here. I've inserted additional cells into my process because here's 1, 2, 3 orange, 1, 2, 3 green. So just the way I took the snapshot from the video a moment ago there in Excel is how I got this. Then I added the yellow arrow, and I also added a note here. So we know the top left-hand pixel of this one, the bottom right-hand pixel, that's a big area, right? Top left of this, bottom right. Easy for you to come in here, just use your fingers, double tap on that, it will find it. It will play it back. It plays it back for you directly here, right? Now these buttons are all big enough to be used by hand here, and we can also share the content. This is a share here, and when I send you the recording of this, you will actually get one of these share links, and you can click on this, maybe send it to your phone and click on it, play it back on the phone, because everything's designed for that. I'm just going to take a copy of this, go back over here, and I'm going to just paste it in here so you can see it coming up in another browser. This is the edge now. It comes right up, and then you can bring it up and start making your selections from it right here. So that you'll have when I send you the links here. So this is operator training. How do we train you in the package? Right. What we have here, let's come back over here and go to our website. This is our website. And I want to draw your attention on the website. If you're just getting started or you're going through the evaluation process, we offer training. What you've got here right now is an overview. We're covering a lot of ground here, showing you all the features, but we actually have online training you can come to. And that online training happens every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. You can see in the Tuesday we do the video time study. So it's just a whole session on the video time study. It's about an hour long too. I record those ones just like I did here. The second one is for the line balancing and the lean. That's on the Wednesday. And then we get digital standard work. We do that on Thursday, and also the automation. Automation you can come to anytime. I'll show you the automation in a moment here if I've got a minute or two here at the end. But I'll show you quickly what that's doing here. But you could come right away and do that one if you're looking for to justify some automation equipment. You can do it here. So we have these online sessions. They are There's always a 6-month schedule out here. Now, no one is booking more than a week or two out here, but just to show that we're doing it every week. So every week, other than holidays, we will be running these sessions. So a typical scenario might be, maybe you decide, well, it'll take us a couple of weeks here. I'm going to go the 4th of June. You might be tempted then to come in and say, oh, I'll go the 6th. We'd say, no, please don't do that. The 5th, sorry. Go the 12th. Give yourself some time to practice between these two sessions, because you'll learn a lot when you get into the detail. You want to go back, take a video and see how it works. And this one you can come to later on when you've got some content and come back at that time. And this one you can come anytime as you need it here. You can send other people, might be used to automation engineers, might want to just come to this. So you can do that as well here. Pick one for them. So that's the online training. There is no documentation for the package. We stopped doing documentation in 2006. What happened in 2006? We started using videos. So then we went to all our training material is done by video now. So you click on this, it will take you down to our video library covering all of the topics in the package. There are over 500 videos in here covering all the features. So for instance, if I'm in the video time and motion here, I can scroll down here, data collection. Here's my find video adjustment slider. That's that important thing I said at the very beginning. Remember back over here, this little drop down here, that's talking about this and how showing you how to use it. So everything is covered in here in the video library. So it's really easy for you to find what you're looking for. You can use Control F and search for keywords. All the usual stuff you can do in the browser, you can do right here. In terms of clients, we have over 1,600 clients, over 4,000 installations out there. Our biggest market is the automotive space. You can see it here. The second biggest would be medical and pharmaceutical. So whether you're making a car or you're making a pacemaker, it's going down through a similar kind of process. We have it here, but you can come in here and see all of the different clients that we have available here. Okay, the other thing I want to talk about is pricing. So let me get that for you here. We offer two options here. One option is what we call a subscription. A subscription includes 2 Timer Pro licenses, not one. We give you 2 for $6,000 a year. You can add the web services, that's the presentation on the factory floor, for an additional cost at that point. This is good if you have, let's say, these 1, 2, maybe 3 users, but anything above 3, this probably becomes, you say, I need 2 of these, that's 12,000. You're actually better going with what we call a floating license. A floating license can be loaded onto any number of PCs within the company. We get clients with facilities all over the world. They might only have 5 licenses, but they can share them around the world. But the only licensed number of users can access it at the same time. Obviously, if you have international operations, it works out real well because they can use it while we're sleeping. Right? These are a little more expensive, but the ongoing cost is substantially less, right, for this year. So this becomes very much an item of interest if you go there. And the last thing I want to talk about, just very briefly, I will give you a little bit more. We're trying to fit a bit more into the session here than we can really fit, is the automation and robotics. If you 100% automation, we can cover that. I'm going to show you a man-machine interaction here because it's coming with the package here. And this is a new feature we added this year. So, and this comes, you can see here, automation up here. Special features for the automation here. And what I'm going to show you here is just one operator running 2 machines. Do I have it here? No, it must have moved on. Let me go get it. This is an example, actually. I want to keep that. But actually, 1 second. I want to just blow that away. New balance. No, I don't want that. Okay, I'm going to go here. I'm going to go get this. And I'm going to go to the public documents, applied computer services. That says, here's our automation. And these are samples that come with the package. So we're going to look at the simplest one is one operator running two machines. So you can see what's happening here. The operator gets the part, they load the part, there's a machine cycle, and then they unload the part. After they load the first machine, they get the part to the second machine, they load the part to the second machine, machine cycle, and then they get unload it here. And what you have, you get links here. You can actually define once the relationship in one cycle, and it will apply it to the whole sequence here. And what this lets it do is create dynamic models. And what I mean by that is you can see here, if I come in here and look at the results of this process right now, this is taking every 21.1 seconds, a part is going to come off of the machine, and the operator is producing a part every 21.1 seconds is what it's doing. And you get the OEE calculation. We're actually applying the OEE to operators in here if you're using it at the same time here. But what happens if something changes? So let's say this machine cycle right now is 6.4. And maybe you decide that when you get it in, you decide you can't do that. It's going to have to be 13, right? So I'm adding almost 7 seconds to that. What impact is that going to have when I do that here? I click on this here, and I'll actually run it again because that ran in the background there. I want to bring this up and show it to you. We have a feature in here called animation up here at the top left. It's set to 10 milliseconds right now. So if I come in here, I'm going to run that again so you can see it. It's actually running through and adjusting the, close that, I can't believe it. Let me bring it back up. That was rather inopportune. So we'll do it again. So probably cleaned everything out, so I'll probably get it right here. So let's say, and I change this value. What did I do? I changed it to 13. I added 7 to it. Currently it's 21.1 seconds. There's the animation. It's basically rebuilding the entire model for you. We added 7 seconds to it. The net impact was we only reduced our output by 2 seconds. Right? It took 2 seconds longer, roughly, to get that here. And that's because it was able to absorb most of the time in the machine area here, and the operator now has introduced some wait time. The operator has to wait. This is ideal for looking at what ifs with the automation projects here. And we have a nice feature here, which is upload to the web. I'm just going to go show you this one. And we can actually create a report that you can distribute via the web here. Click on this, is the same thing. And here's the summary report. This is inside Chrome. Here's the process as you're looking at it. Here shows you the links to the product going through there. Here's the automation Gantt chart. Here's another Gantt chart because people wanted this Gantt chart too, so we give them that. And here's a training. This, you can download this. This tells you if you program your machines with these numbers, it's telling you what you're going to get off at the end of the day here. Every 30.7 seconds in this example, a part would come off the end of the machines here. So this is very good there. That's the automation in here. So that covers everything we have in the Timer Pro. Any immediate questions? Okay.
Hi, this is Rahul. Yeah, if I may ask you real quick. So I work for a distribution industry, and I was just curious, I mean, as we are doing our time series, so let's say if I want to record somebody grabbing 4 boxes, 5 boxes, whatever the case is there a place where we can enter the quantities?
Yes, absolutely, Rahul. 1 second. Let me come over here, and let's go back and let's just record an imaginary packing boxes, right? So you might click on this pack box, right? So what you do is you click on this, you're going to save that just like anything else here. But then what you can do, you can come in here, Rahul, and you see we have quantity. Right. So if you know that's going to be something you're going to do, you have the quantity available, and that's going to be sitting there as you're making your observations, right? And then you can just enter the quantity here. In fact, you can click on 12 here and click on it. You see there's a quantity column right there. It will go right in there. You see the 12 going in there. And then you can record the next activity. You know, this is the same thing. So we can just say pack box again. They say pack. And then you say 3. So you can have this sitting there, Rahul, as you're making your entries, and save it there. You see, it's putting them in. I added it onto the end there. I should have cleared it out there, right? I can come back here, just clear it, and put 3 in here, right? And say, okay, that's put it there, okay? So you can put in, you can record your quantities here as you're doing it, Rahul, by having this little pop-up right here available to you. Okay.
Yeah, got it. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions?
Hi, Doug. John here. Quick question. Say you have multiple angles of the operation. Is there any way to stack the footage?
Yes,
so you can
there
look
is.
at both?
look at it, you go to the comparison area, and over here, John, whoops, moving it down, there's a zoom here. You see multi-camera angles, right? So this gives you the ability to introduce, I think it's up to 5 different angles, John, right? Now to do that, I can't show you that right now, but you can go to our home ribbon here, and you go to training videos, and you look for multi-camera angles. I'm pretty sure I can find that just by saying camera angles. Yeah, here we are. Introduction to multiple camera angle views, right? Loading multiple camera angles, how to sync multiple camera angles, an example using 4 camera angles, right? So you can go to this section, John. Just go to the it's on our website. You don't have to have anything. Go to the home, go to the training option at the top right, and just type in camera, and it'll find that for you. And you can watch those videos. It'll show you exactly what to do.
Perfect. Thanks, Doug.
Okay. Okay. Any final questions? I can show you any of these reports you might be interested in as well here. Okay, if there's nothing else, I'm going to end the session. I do appreciate we ran a little bit over. 1 minute, that's not too bad. I actually covered a lot of material there. I'm going to end the recording now. It does take a few hours to get this, so depending where you are, if you're on the East Coast, you might get it tomorrow morning when you walk in, but otherwise it should be there this afternoon if you're not off the East Coast there, okay?
All right. Thanks, Doug.